All over the United States, cannabis is being legalized. And with that, a whole new world of possibilities of how to consume it is opening up. That's why we're gonna throw 10 of the most epic weed-infused dinner parties that the world has ever seen. Food culture in Los Angeles is booming right now. The only thing that matches it is cannabis. We're gonna get some amazing chefs, some of whom have never cooked with weed.
I just can't believe that there is a whole world of aroma out there that none of us have had access to.
And we're gonna provide them with everything they need to infuse their foods in really inventive ways.
I'm going to cold smoke the yogurt.
That's amazing.
Everything we're doing is kind of an experiment.
Come on, baby.
Cheers, guys.
Bong Appétit.
I'm in LA, and this is the house where this edible cannabis journey is gonna take place. To help our chefs better understand how to incorporate cannabis into their cooking, we have Vanessa from Marigold Sweets, our culinary expert,
I don't get baked and then bake. I bake and then get baked.
and Rye Pritchard, a cannabis infusion specialist.
This is a concentrate that's then been distilled, so this is great to put into edibles.
And me, a guy who loves to throw parties where people can smoke and eat to their heart's delight. So for the last couple of days, Rye's been setting up a weed pantry that's gonna contain all the different types of cannabis products that our chefs are gonna need to infuse all these different dishes.
So all this stuff is cannabis in all its different forms. We have over 20 different types of flower here. We source some of the best strains from the best growers in California. We have a whole array of concentrates, which are actually extracted from the buds. And so you get something like this beautiful high flavor extract. You can break it down even further to its chemical components. For example, terpenes. These are the aroma and flavor components of cannabis. It's what makes cannabis smell all its incredible ways. You can use this to add flavor and aroma to dishes. This right here is CBD crystal. We also have THC. This is what's called distillate. It's odorless and flavorless. The oil form of this makes it very easy to drop into things because there's nothing to dissolve. This is a very versatile product, and this is what most edibles on the market are starting to be made with.
Amazing. Obviously, we've got just about everything we need. We're gonna link up with Marcel Vigneron, who's gonna be our chef for this first dinner. He does some pretty technical things with food, and I want him to bring that expertise to cooking with weed. Marcel, have you ever cooked with cannabis before?
I remember one time I was like cooking at home with some friends, and it was like, oh yeah, there's some weed butter in the freezer or whatever. And it's like, I go to make an omelet like the way I would normally do, like a French omelet, just like butter. And then afterwards, we were all just like on the couch like a bunch of zombies. That's why I always want to make sure that we're doing like the right sort of like dosage, because I feel like that's oftentimes where like cooking with cannabis can go wrong.
Yeah, we don't want to be caught off guard, and we don't want our guests to be caught off guard by what they're eating.
Yeah.
I'll make it taste good, and you make sure it's appropriately dosed.
Yeah. What do you have in mind so far?
Obviously, one of the biggest no-brainers would be like smoking a dish.
Yeah.
And we just got a whole tuna in from one of our fishermen. There's something just super primal and delicious about smoking a tuna.
With cannabis
With
smoke.
cannabis as the smoke. Yeah,
Amazing.
totally. For the entree, we have a really nice like beef cheek on the menu. It's like cook them for 10 hours, so I'll basically have that like done ahead of time. But then on the pickup, we'll take it and we'll sear it in a pan, and then we baste with that. And then we do like a soy honey glaze.
Okay.
So I was thinking maybe infuse the butter and maybe the honey.
It might be interesting to maybe use it as an herb.
Like crumble that up, make it like a little ganja gremolata.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Last but not least, I feel like ice cream is kind of a no-brainer. We have a persimmon ice cream. We have a habanero hibiscus, turmeric vanilla lemongrass.
Ooh, that sounds good. Yeah.
We could also dose it with an oil, a THC oil.
Amazing. Okay, that sounds perfect.
Okay, I think that's like a pretty solid menu.
Yeah. And even if every instance of cannabis in the meal doesn't actually have a medicinal effect, that's okay. You know, we're basically just going for interesting ways to get parts that can be used as an ingredient into different dishes.
For me, I mean, that's one of the things that like intrigued me about it. I mean, there's so many different compounds, so many different flavors.
Yeah, and then, I mean, so aromatic. I mean, we dripped like just a few drops of these terpenes on there, and it like made the whole kitchen smell like Durbanese. It was cool.
Wow, Turpinase, is that what you said? It's like mayonnaise?
That's going in the idea book, though. I'm gonna need some wine to go with the main that Marcel is preparing, but I don't want just any ordinary wine. So I'm up here in Northern California to meet up with Pax Maley, who's gonna show me how to make a cannabis-infused wine that I'm gonna bring to the dinner. So you're actually infusing the wine by putting cannabis flower directly into it?
Yeah, the cannabis flower is added at 3 stages. The first stage is fresh flower added to fresh juice, pre-fermentation, and they soak together. Then we add about 2 pounds of crushed up flour, this year the Blue Dream.
Oh, wow.
So the wine starts fermenting naturally with the cannabis flower for 2-3 weeks, and that extracts all of those terpenes and all of the flavor and all of the aroma that you get in the wine.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it already smells amazing.
So this wine is done fermenting, and this flour is spent, and so the flour pretty much floats to the top. We're gonna squeeze out the flour because it's been kind of steeping in here like tea. And then we'll hop down here, we'll open the bottom valve, and we'll just drain it right out.
How exactly does the THC get in there?
The alcohol in the wine is what is extracting the THC.
I've heard of wines being infused with cannabis where they put in some kind of cannabis concentrate or something into it, but this is clearly different than that. It's like the flowers are fermenting with the wine, right?
For sure. The terpenes and the flavor are all being extracted from the fermentation. For me, as a purist, there's just something that seems very right about having the flower actually fermenting in the wine. It just seems that you're really getting all of those terpenes that you don't get from just adding the tincture. Okay. Now that this has been drained off of the spent flour that it's been fermenting on for the last couple of weeks, we're gonna take the same cured cannabis flour and add some of this to the clean wine just to add more flavor and more THC. Go ahead and like grind it up between your hands. And so this aging process in the kegs takes about 4 to 5 months for everything to settle out of the wine. We then rack that clean, and then we stick it into a bottle.
And we got weed wine.
And we got weed wine. Right away, you smell that fresh cannabis flower fermented with the wine.
Oh, wow, that's really good, man. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
So you've met Ryan, Vanessa, of course.
What's up?
And this right here is our Cannabis Pantry.
What? Are you kidding me? The aroma is just like, wow, it's like almost intoxicating. Oh, man.
Yeah. So I'm gonna leave you with Ryan, Vanessa for a few. They can explain the ingredients. You guys can build on the plans we made yesterday, and I'll check in just a few.
Cool. So I'm thinking the first course, we'll do that smoked tuna.
We were gonna put terpenes in the ponzu.
What have you guys been primarily using the terpenes for, like, thus far?
We actually haven't used the terpenes for anything yet. We're gonna probably use them mostly for aromatics. I mean, you can just drizzle a couple drops and it's super pungent. This Blue Dream here, this might be a nice choice because it's got a little bit of the herbaceousness, a little bit of the sweetness.
Wow, that is really nice. Let's do that one.
Let's do Blue Dream.
Dosage-wise, how do we...
There's a tiny bit of cannabinoids in these, but we're gonna use such a small amount. It's super, super fragrant, so it's no big deal, really.
Sweet.
Cool.
So then the ganja remoulade,
Right.
and then like searing the beef cheeks in some ganja butter, and then glaze them in the soy honey.
Do we want to use a CBD honey so we make sure that we're not going too heavy on dosing with people?
Definitely.
What a lot of people don't know is that CBD actually works against THC. They work together as in health benefits, but in terms of like psychoactive effects, you can actually kind of calm yourself down with CBDs.
Okay, cool, good call, like that. Then we'll serve that with broccoli polonaise. And then I was thinking we could do a little intermezzo, so I made these meringues. I just dehydrated them overnight. We use egg white powder instead of like regular eggs to make them meringues. Okay. So then we can replace the water that would normally be in an egg with watercress juice and the CBD crystals. All right, let's cook. So we can go ahead and make the ice cream base, which is kind of nice because I like to let that infuse.
We're not putting anything in the ice cream base.
Or are we?
I mean, when you said you want to let it sit.
I think we should. I think we could.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's get like a nice little pot that's gonna fit all the stuff in it. Everything's weighed out to the gram, very, very precise. So basically, we'll put all these guys in the lemongrass in a pot.
Okay.
We'll start warming them up, and then these guys will infuse towards the end, and infusing like a nice deep, rich flavor. I'm gonna work on this tuna real fast. Just gonna trim off the bloodline, and then get some nice slices of the loin, and then we'll smoke it. Do you want to pick out a varietal?
I'm thinking something that makes a nice aromatic smoke. I always think haze when I think of aromatic smoke. We have a J1 here that smells really great.
Do you want to pack a bowl in that smoking gun?
Packing bowls is what I do best.
I am trying not to burn my hands on this very spicy habanero. And then we're gonna put that into the ice cream base.
Let's start off with half.
Okay. Just drop it?
Yeah, just drop it in there, right?
All right.
Yeah, we can kick this guy up.
So that's the cream.
It's coconut water, coconut milk.
You put the sugar in there?
Yep.
Yep, lemongrass and a habanero.
And so it's a non-dairy ice cream, is that right?
Until I add the dry milk powder. The secret to ice cream is like less fat, more protein. And it gives you a much better like mouthfeel, flavor release. When you taste it, your palate isn't covered with fat.
Right.
It's just like super clean. And then you have that nice sort of like toffee-like consistency when you freeze it.
So what you got there, Rye?
This is a smoke gun, so Marcel can tell you more about it than I can.
Basically, we're smoking the tuna. The tuna that we're doing in the restaurant with the chamomile and the cedar, we did it like 2 or 3 times. I usually just let it sit in there until it dissipates.
Now, this is pretty novel. Raw tuna that's sitting there soaking in weed smoke and honest to goodness, like burnt flour smoke.
It looks like it may have dissipated.
Should we try this tuna?
Oh,
And then we're gonna put the terpenes.
In the ponzu, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna drip like 1 terpene on my,
Oh man, that is incredible. It's like smoky with that like kind of sweet flavor. It definitely smells like smoky weed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
Is that great?
That's the thing. Yeah, it's
I
cool.
feel like
totally,
I just ate like a ganja jungle.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
totally
Like-
turned to left field.
All right.
Let's do this. Man, kitchen equipment's awesome. This is THC distillate. That's probably a 0.3 or so. Oh, look at that. So I'm just gonna get that to melt
all of it?
off there. Yep.
So we're good. This is gonna be the base for our liquid nitrogen ice cream.
Marcel, we're gonna juice these.
Yep. Is it working?
I don't know.
The guests are about to arrive, right?
Come on, baby.
So are they just like juiceless?
I think there's not enough water.
Should we just jam like a lot
let's
in
do
at
it.
once?
Jam it. No, here it is, yes!
Oh, juice. That's
Oh,
juice.
there
We
we
just need
go.
to stick a lot of leaves in there.
I think we have like a big.
Yeah, sack of weed leaves.
Oh yeah, I
something
gotta
like
get in here. This just seems like too much.
Here, take the stick,
Just
too.
scratch this one off the bucket list. Oh my god.
Juice and weed leaves.
Marcel, this is your juice. That whole bag.
Ooh la la. Did you guys taste it? Is it delicious?
I want to try
Oh
something.
yeah, I want to try
I ate some of the crumble.
Oh wow. It's got that super bitter, like green,
Yeah,
like
it's better.
flavor.
Astringent, no?
Yeah, that's what I want out of like
Like
greens.
pushes.
You know?
Yeah.
But we can sweeten it up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do the CBD honey.
So we're just gonna drop it like 1 drop at a
Oh,
time
that's cool.
into the liquid nitrogen. And it's gonna freeze instantly. And then we're gonna do this with the turmeric, lemongrass, black pepper ice cream. Oh, it's like the Green Bay Packers. Or should I say the Green Bowl Packers? Boom! That was actually my ultimate Frisbee team in high school.
All right, I'm gonna go get more stoned. For tonight's dinner, I've invited guests who are pioneers in the cannabis industry, who I know will appreciate what Marcel has in store.
All of the flavor, all of the, I mean, it smells like fresh flower.
Yeah.
And that is,
It's really unbelievable.
Ooh, that's super tart. So what strain did you use in this batch?
sour diesel.
No shit, wow. Tart, sour diesel wine. And my favorite thing about this wine and its presentation, sort of, is that the weed in this is incidental. It's just the type of wine that has weed in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like Pax's ganja juice, you know what I'm saying? It's just incidentally there. It's not overpowering. It's not like in your face. It's just weed and wine.
That's right. And so this is a rosé, you know, so the idea is this is served cold and it's fresh and you're drinking it on your way to the beach, you know.
Incredible.
Just watching the sunset.
Pax, thanks for bringing your weed wine. This shit is amazing, and we're in for a really, really interesting dinner tonight. We're gonna get really stoned. We're gonna get really stoned. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers. Cheers.
What's up, guys? Got the munchies? We've prepared a multi-course menu, tasting menu for this evening. We're starting for the first course, beautiful yellowfin tuna, caught in San Diego, and we're gonna smoke it. You wanna tell them what we're smoking it with?
Yeah, we have a little J1 flower. That's a sativa-dominant haze.
Hot box, the tuna.
Yeah, right. Yeah, totally, exactly. And then we do like a citrus ponzu, right?
Yep, then we're gonna drip some of these Blue Dream terpenes onto the tuna.
I can tell you, after extracting cannabis terpenes from like 50 different cultivars, I've never seen that.
Right, you ever drip weed onto fish before?
Can't say that I have, sir.
You ever drip weed on fish on weed, man?
He's doing it right now.
And Rye, how about like dosage?
This first course is all CBD and terpenes, so this one will not have any real strong menthol effect.
Once we get through the whole meal, it's actually a pretty good balance of THC and CBD, so no one's gonna get super rocked off that. But the dabs we're gonna take from these pipes, those are gonna f you up.
Bong Appétit, guys. Yeah.
Bong Appétit, Marcel. Thank you so much. Wow. And you can totally taste like the smoky cannabis flavor in there, and it's really, really pleasant.
Yeah. You can taste the Blue Dream as well.
Exactly, the terpene.
Oh yeah, and the sauce.
It's really potent.
Yeah. Has anyone ever had anything like this before?
No, this is really unique. The sweetness and the bitterness, how they bounce off each other is really nice.
You know, using the cannabis flavors is incredible. I mean, an amazingly balanced dish, not only in flavor, but in kind of my kind of roller coaster, you know, high of the moment.
Second course is gonna be some beef cheeks. So we're gonna sear them and roast them, and we're gonna do like a little brown butter baste.
And then we're actually putting 0.3 grams of that CBD distillate. And then we're gonna crumble up some OG Kush buds in there for a little bit of kind of herbaceous flavor.
A little greenery on the scenery.
Yep. And then we also are going to use the CBD honey.
We're gonna do a little soy and honey glaze, so that way it's like salty, like sweet combo.
So what's special about the cheek portion of the cow?
It's a high activity muscle, does a lot of chomping. Whenever you have like a more high activity muscle, you'll get like a lot more flavor. But the problem with a lot of high activity muscles would be the fact that they're so tough, right? But we actually cooked these beef cheeks for 10 hours and sort of just broke down all that like collagen. This is a broccoli polonaise, super classic, old school French escoffier with a little bit of reinterpretation.
I'm sprinkling some of Tony's THCA crystal on here. Like Cam and Kush. I don't know.
It's one of my favorites.
Marcel, you want a dab?
I'm okay right now. Somebody's got to do this dinner. Beef cheeks with honey nut.
Oh my God, the texture. It's like...
Melts in your mouth.
Yeah.
The beef cheek is smoother and softer than the sweet potato.
Right?
And this is like the face of a cow.
And I mean, the cool thing is like, most people don't really utilize that product, so you should feel good about eating it too.
No, I'm not even slightly put off by the idea of eating like an animal's face beyond its like leg or its ass, you know? Like whatever. So is anybody feeling the effect so far?
The body high is like in my shoulders and kind of like came over kind of heavy at first and fast, but now it's like really just like a really great high. It's probably the balance, right, between the CBD and the THC, and it's just an all-over good high in the head and in the body.
Now that everyone's done with their main, I thought we could have a little palate cleanser, and we've got some Baroni rosin here. It's super lemon haze, and what we want to do is just take a little low-temperature dab just to get the flavor.
Palate change, so we'll do that. Yeah, that super lemon haze is really good.
Oh, wow, that's exceptional, man. Very, very tasty.
So we call this dragon's breath. These are little meringues made with CBD crystals, watercress, and kale. Just freeze it for a couple seconds in the liquid nitrogen. Take it down to those sub-zero temperatures. And then when you consume it, don't forget to open your mouth, exhale. Out of your nose is kind of a fun way to do it.
All right, Tula got it, everybody. That means everybody else must have got it, right? We're good? All right.
It's got that green flavor. It's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
So for this next course, you have the nitro turmeric lemongrass ice dream. And then we have the cannabis pearls.
Oh, yeah. This is like future space ice cream.
So you can see we kind of have these like little green.
All right, this is gonna be the craziest edible anyone here has ever had, right?
Yes.
You want to pour the nitrogen in here for me?
And these look like little cartoon buds. Like those.
It's like Thai curry.
This is insane, man. It's taking me a minute to process everything.
It reminds me of the old school tradition in India. If you go back in the villages, they're making this drink with the turmeric, black pepper, the ganja. They call it shardai.
That's so cool.
This was like the futuristic Cali version.
We should take it back there.
Yeah, oh no, yeah, it'll be tripping.
Right?
This bomb.
So, Marcel, thank you so much for this incredible experience, and Vanessa and Rye for lending your expertise. This was an exceptional start to something that we set out to do on this show. Right now is a really special time in history, right? Cannabis is going from being illegal to being legal. I mean, how lucky are we that we get to live at a time when we're experiencing an awakening?
For me, it's so cool because it's like you guys gave me a whole new pantry. It's pretty cool to get so many new flavors and aromas to play with.
And on this show, what our specific goal is to push the limits of edible cannabis, to infuse foods in ways that no one has ever done before, but perhaps one day people will look back and say, this was the first place that happened. I don't know how the we're gonna top this because we have a lot more dinners to do. Good shit, thank you, my dude. Bong Appétit.
Bong Appétit.
Thank you so much.